Hey there, welcome to the Achievers Way podcast. My name is Isia Wrightsema. The Achievers Way is a conversational podcast that chronicles the journey and sheds a spotlight on successful expatriates, successful business professionals of immigrant background. Our guest today is Didi Uwemakpan, a Fintech Marketing and Communication expert born in Nigeria, now based in the UK. On this episode, she shares her career journey as well as tips for a better work-life balance. Let's jump right in.
You want to be careful. The more senior you are, the more you start thinking of what autonomy is like. Do I get to own projects? Would I be allowed to make my decisions? Would I be allowed to implement things myself? Because you need to. So that membership, thinking through what the culture is like in terms of people. Do they care for their people? Do they think about people? If you stub your toe, will everything stop for at least 1 minute so that you'll find? That's very big for us.
Hi, Didi. Welcome to our studio. Welcome to Immigrant Success Stories. Thank you for joining us.
Hi, it's my pleasure to be here, Daniel. How are you?
I'm really, really good. So I have lots of questions for you today, but I will start from the very beginning for those who are maybe seeing you for the first time and want to know more about you from your context, like where you started from, your background. Could you maybe share a little bit about that with us?
Awesome. Okay, my name is Didi. Everyone calls me Didi. My parents now even call me Didi.
Nice.
I work in marketing, done that for over a decade. I currently lead marketing at a fintech, one of Africa's largest fintech. Before then, I worked in marketing all my life, but different facets of the field. So I started out doing digital strategy, leading the marketing department for one of Nigeria's largest telcos, going into doing consumer insights, which was the technical side of marketing, which is more, oh, hey, consumers are doing this. How are we able to study their behavior and make better decisions? And then I moved into one of the coolest projects I worked on, actually,
which is
launching Budweiser in Nigeria and just being behind all of the experiences that happened with the brand for about 3 years. So if you walk into a bar in Nigeria and you see like a Budweiser branding, my team very likely did it.
Nice.
And then I sort of got tired because working in experiential marketing meant that you were trying to make people happy. And the peak periods were when you could be resting. Yeah. So think of Christmas Day and everyone's like, oh, hey, let's do something. Can I have a break? So at some point I wanted a break, and I think a friend introduced me to a renewable energy startup that wanted to make better consumer decisions. Let's just put it that way. I went into that space, worked with really cool people for a bit. COVID hit. We made like a few new business decisions, but that period was actually one of the most interesting periods of my life as well, because COVID hit and business model sort of changed. So we were building products, and I had gone from this marketing person to this product person, going on the field, talking to consumers, trying to figure out how we could design products for them. And I did that for a period of time. And I was like, okay, maybe I need a break. And then while I thought I'd be resting, and so right now we're majorly based in Africa. I'm based in the UK because I work with a global team on different high-level business decisions we're making.
Yeah.
We're setting up in this market, trying to reach out to investors, whatever we're trying to do.
Wow, that's amazing. Who was Didi as a little girl? And thinking back, did you think that you would be doing what you are today?
Absolutely not. So I grew up with very, don't want to say educated parents per se, but my mom worked in education. My dad has a PhD. So we had a lot of books at home.
Yeah.
Like my dad goes out to like read this. And then I read a book when I was much younger. It was by Florence Nightingale. I think it was her story. And she was this nurse who like treated people in the war front. She would go to unturned areas and treat soldiers. And I told myself I wanted to be a missionary doctor. So while I was in the university studying microbiology, I was still sure I wanted to be a doctor. I just said I was going to do this for 4 years and then go on to do medicine. And for my third year, I was interning at Unilever. I worked in two different labs, the quality assurance lab, where you sort of sign off what gets exported, what gets sent to the markets. Really cool, bro. Really cool. You have so much power in your hands. I can wake up and say, no close up in the market today. I did that. I also worked in the medical lab where you get to test people. For us at Unilever, you were testing new hires, testing if an employee was sick, because massive industry, right? You have factories. So if an employee was sick, we treat them. And it was super interesting for me, but I didn't have the personality for it, I think. I was like, first, I can't do this routine work for the rest of my life. I could do it with my eyes closed on both ends. And I didn't like the routine part of it. To be honest, I saw like it looked like some more people were having fun. And it turned out that was the marketing team.
Nice.
But then at the same time, I think it required a bit of attention that I did not have. I liked trying new things. I liked exploring new things. And so I spoke to the HR and I told, and we sort of spoke through potentially what my life, my career could be like. And I thought, oh, I'm always smiling. Maybe I could work in HR. I'm really glad I did not take that take that route. But I got out of school, did a few courses in the advertising space because then was what it looked like for me. First course was like, okay, not doing too badly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kept doing a lot more courses in that space, worked in an advertising agency. And I've just grown. I think at first it was advertising as it was. And then going into digital marketing and working with Airtel back then and exploring that, okay, there are these product marketing teams. Life is bigger than this ad. Then after seeing, oh, hey, product marketing is one part I should explore, I went for my master's. My master's was in the UK and in France. I was with this really cool French business school.
Nice. So this question brings me to the first question is your work with money points at the moment. And the second question is, what do you wish your legacy would be career-wise 50 years from now?
Awesome. Okay. So Money Point is we are a business bank. So we provide this platform for small businesses to grow. And in layman terms, we offer them payment tools. Right now, we are the largest POS terminal provider in Nigeria. So if you go to one out of two stores, you would see our POS, or sometimes pretty much everyone. And we give them credit. They have bank accounts with us. So a small orange seller who would have never thought he'd be able to have a bank account in his business name can have with us. And so what I do with the company is now ensuring that these people know about us. Mm-hmm. Or I like to start from, so I use this model called see, no, sugar, forgotten. But yeah, they get to see us. And so a lot of advertising, they get to know what we're doing. It's one thing for people to know money points exist, but do they know what we're doing? Yeah. It's another thing for them to believe in us. So, oh, hey, these people say they offer business platforms. Do they believe? And so for us, it's how can we compel consumers? And then at the end of the day, how do we even convert them? So can we get them to make decisions, the decisions we want them to do? So can they open accounts? And so my customers are not just the people who use us, they're investors as well. Some of my biggest customers are the employees. Nice. So under my team as well is something called employer branding and trying to ensure that we are the employer of choice. And as we grow and as we expand into other markets, we're trying to hire. We just hired a COO from Capital One in the US. He was a managing VP. And so part of my work is ensuring that if we're trying to hire people that high, they look at us and they go, oh, these guys are cool. I can work there. And to be honest, that has been like the hardest work of my life because it's selling culture, selling how a particular place is, and oh, hey, this is the place for you to be. Yeah. But yeah, so my work is customers, investors, and employees, most especially.
I really do think it's amazing because your legacy, the legacy that you wish to have, is not just focused on you. You want it to be translated to the impact you've had on other people within your industry.
Yeah.
That's really brilliant. I love something you said, that a lot of the work you do is about culture and employer branding. And This brings me to my next question. If you were to give advice to someone, say an immigrant, could be African, could be Asian, anyone, who is looking to choose a good employer to work with for the first time, and they're new, this is new waters, what would you advise them to look out for in a company?
Interesting. Okay, I think career decisions are very
Yeah,
subjective. So it's based
yeah,
on a lot of things, but also based on the point you are in your career. So if you're
yeah,
super young, I think the core of what you should be doing is learning.
yeah,
And so you are trying to look out for, you're trying to observe the learning culture. What do the leaders in there look like? Are they
yeah,
people that actually guide you, or they just, if they throw you into the deep end, are they there to catch you?
yeah,
Speaking to older employees, getting on LinkedIn, trying to reach out to people and trying to find out what the leadership culture and what the team culture in there is like. I think some
yeah,
people have become terrible leaders because they started out working with terrible leaders. And
yeah,
you want to be careful. The more senior you are, the more you start thinking of what autonomy is like. Do I get to own projects? Would I be allowed to make my decisions? Would I be allowed to implement things myself? Of course, you are also thinking about the compensation, because as a growing person in your career, you don't want to. I think I read something one time that one of the biggest reasons people don't even get to do good work is because they're bothered about money. So even from our end, it's like I
yeah,
never want people on my team to be bothered about money.
yeah,
So I think making decisions, you want to, if you want to do good work, which is why I believe people should want to work at places, you want to ensure that you're getting the right, you're getting compensated appropriately for
yeah.
that. To be honest, I'm partly stealing from something we use at work.
Please
It's sort
tell
of
me.
model we use at work, and we call it the four M's.
The
One is
four
meaning.
M's.
Yes, one is meaning. And meaning
Mhm.
is like what the company is trying to achieve, and if you believe in it. So does the
Yeah,
company have a purpose, a goal? Two is mastery. Are they experts at what they do? And are they, do they help you become an expert at what you're doing? There's money there, and there's membership. So do you feel like a part of, I wouldn't say family, but something like a team? What we've done, what I've done with the team is we've come up with something where we're like a football team, and footballers celebrate with each other, right? But then they're also at alert. They're also very focused on goals. It's like, hey, this is what we're trying to achieve. But then there's the human part to it as well. So it's not, you are not just you're there for work, but if someone stubs their toe on a football field, everything stops
yeah,
because you need to. So that membership, thinking through what the culture is like in terms of people, do they care for their people? Do they think about people? If you stub your toe, will everything stop for at least 1 minute so that you're fine? That's very big for us.
I might not say the same, exactly the same way you said it. So there's
Yeah.
meaning, there's money, there's membership,
Yes,
and there is mastery.
exactly. So it's a
Oh,
four
that's
M
good.
framework, yeah, for
The
culture.
4M framework of culture. Okay, so let's ask another question from another perspective. You have lived and worked in Nigeria and also in Europe, and you have worked with global brands. I'm talking Facebook, Budweiser, KFC, huge, huge, huge brands. This question is from the perspective of other companies that want to follow suit in hiring diverse talents, but are worried and concerned about assimilation, about disruption, about just anything and everything regarding hiring an immigrant. If you could say anything to them based on your experience on what to look out for and what maybe not to worry about, what would you say?
Just do it.
I love it.
um, but I think at the end of the day, it is hiring someone is like you're trying to fit a puzzle together. The
Yeah.
person has to be the right fit for what you're
Yeah.
doing. And at the end of every day, it is working with people. Whenever I interview people, I always look out for something called the vibe check. To be
The
honest,
vibe check. Yeah.
two of you have to vibe.
Yeah.
People in teams have to vibe for them to be able to achieve things. And at the end of the day, I think that's why companies have DEI departments. That's why companies are trying to, okay, let me get people to manage our diversity so that they can help hire the people I'm looking for. And I know a lot of people feel like diversity teams are token teams. Let me not mention any country right now, but if a person seems a bit calm, it's not like they're not scared, they're not nervous. That's likely how they are. Or if a person is shouting,
I love that.
and so it's just important that you get people on your team that understand the nuances and can help you get these people in, and they can help them settle in as well. I'd say that's the biggest thing.
Oh, that is brilliant, and that's really, really helpful. My next question is for you. Have you ever had a time in your career where you thought about giving up or quitting?
Giving up or quitting? No. Interesting.
Or any interesting hurdle in your career that really made you deeply uncomfortable and question your own path?
Maybe not question my path, but question my decisions. In terms of my path, I've gotten tired. I felt like I've done everything there is to it. What else is there? And I think there's just something in life about quest and conquest. And what's the next big thing? I've been in situations where I hired people wrongly. And for me, it was I needed to fill roles. And because I needed to fill roles quickly, oh, hey, this person looks good. The vibe check is passed. Hey, come in. And then realized afterwards that they were the wrong fit, and I had to let them go. Right now, I'm such a slow hire. I could fill a role in 1 year. I don't care, because I've just realized the importance of getting the right person. Like I said earlier, it's like a puzzle fitting. That was super hard for me because I was like, okay, what am I going to do? But it was hard, and it wasn't one or two people. It was, so you understand that it wasn't easy.
It's the letting them go that was difficult, yes?
Absolutely. Letting them go was difficult, because working with them was difficult, but letting them go was worse.
That's brilliant. Wow. I feel like you've said so many insightful things that could be helpful for, shall I say, both sides. On the side of the immigrant who wants to join the workforce, on the side of the employers, especially now that there's been a lot of layoffs, to help those that may have been laid off understand the perspective from the other side. And also, you just talked about employers and how important it is for them to kind of open up about diversity and bring in those teams, which can help them better understand the people that they are working with. Okay. My next question for you is, what do you think is the best way for someone of a different background to best advocate for themselves at work, especially when you're the minority?
I found a quote recently. The biggest problem with communication is the illusion that it's taking place. And essentially it means
that's interesting.
Most of the time, we're not communicating. We said something, but communication the other person has to understand it for you to say it's taking place. The other person has to be on the same page. Like, doesn't have to agree with it, but then the person they have to understand that, oh, this is what you're saying.
Yeah.
And so I think in advocating for ourselves at work, most of the time, people are not communicating. The other person is not understanding what you're saying. And so then you are pretty much just, these two people on different pages.
Yeah.
And so I'd say, first and foremost, how do you communicate? You communicate by absorbs information.
Yeah.
What is the best way they will take this information? Especially if the opportunity to advocate for yourself is not there internally.
Yeah.
Take it externally. And next thing, my brother has actually been in that position where he was just doing his thing, and then next thing he gets a new role at work because of work.
Oh, really?
On the outside.
Wow. I'm curious, what was he doing on the outside?
So he was running an entrepreneurship community on the outside. But at work, he was in the tech space. Yeah. And then an offer opened up at his workplace. They had some money, and they were, an entrepreneurship fund.
Nice.
And he was then one of the people called on to run it.
That
Just
is
because.
amazing. That's really, really actually very inspiring. Most people think that once they start working, they kind of neglect everything else. And from what you said, it's helpful to just pursue your passions nonetheless.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Outside of work hours.
outside of work, outside of work hours, and not in conflict or in competition to the work that you're doing, and how that can help. You've also worked in both startups and established companies. Sometimes work in these environments can be competitive and they can also be very intensely stressful. What are your tips to dealing with it or handling it?
Dealing with stress. Um, Interesting.
What do you think? Let's say you have a younger sister who is new to all of this
Yeah.
and she's been employed at a company that is known for very intense work hours and she's struggling. What would your advice to her be?
So my first advice is to have a life. And yeah, that is broad, but
Yes.
by having a life, what I mean is to do things outside of work,
Yeah.
give you joy. As you grow, of course, you can't do intense forever.
Yeah.
And as you grow, you begin to have that leeway to not endure a certain level of intensity for too long. But
Yeah.
I would say have a life. And I'll tell you something. I used to work somewhere and I would work till maybe 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. And if you live in Lagos, when you work, you wait out traffic, blah, blah, blah. But then I found something to do that gave me joy after work every day. I play tennis a lot. And so I could work all through the day, but in the evenings, make sure I put in 2 hours of tennis and maybe go to the gym, spend
Yeah.
time in the gym, do whatever I want to do. And these things just sort of make me forget the stress at work. And even if I have to do work that night again, I've done things that I consider joyful. Because if all you do is work and sleep, there's nothing that's helping your brain, there's nothing that's giving you endorphins or whatever. And so I think for me, my biggest thing would be find things that give you joy.
Oh, that is really good. That is really good. I really like it. My last question for you is a question that I think would be very dear to your heart. Could you share with us the why of Fungry and what it means to you?
Fungry is.
I like the name Fungry. You have to start with how you got the name Fungry in the first place.
I can't say how I got the name Fungry on this call, but my parents might see it. But
Okay.
Hungry was pretty much the first iteration of Hungry one. And it was for people who were really hungry. So you probably figure it out by now. And it was I had a lot of friends who, whenever they were hungry, they would never want to make decisions. If food showed up, they would eat.
Yeah.
But they were too hungry to make decisions. And I found out how it happens to me with fashion now, by the way, where you go on a platform and there's so many choices. I'm just hungry. I just want to eat.
Yeah.
Want a trench coat. I don't want to make a million decisions. It was this platform. I test ran it in Abuja where people would pay a particular amount of money and we deliver a surprise meal to you.
Oh, nice.
And I did that for a bit. I got busy, dropped it. And then the second iteration of Hungry happened when the recession and there was a lot of inflation in Nigeria last year. I had worked with people, they would run out of money during the month. You run out of money a lot in Nigeria because we don't have credit. So even for lunch, people would be asking their colleagues, asking them, hey, can I get money and I'll give it back to you? And so I realized how much, first, we're not a big credit culture, but what is one way we could get people to get in that space? And for Fungry, we're trying to help people put their money to more productive uses because you get paid right now in a lot of emerging markets and all of that money is being used for something else. When you would get credit, do things you need to let your money be invested in something else. And then when you the money is making more money for you and you have credit. And so for me, it was how do we use food, which everybody loves, to as an entry point for credit. So people are not taking credit for their cars or whatever, but can they just get a card that they used to pay whenever they want to eat? Because people eat every day. So it's like an Amex for food and an Amex for everything.
This was the second iteration. Is there a third iteration?
There is a third iteration. There's a third iteration. And at the end of the day, all of them have to come back. But the third iteration is, I think the first iteration of Front Beer was super great, but after doing a bit of research, I feel like it best sits with in a more developed economy, which is where I am right now in the UK. And so this is where I'm exploring. So it's an improved version of the first iteration, and I like to think about it as a Spotify for food.
Oh, so nice.
You come on, you pick like different things you like you're picking your genres, and we surprise you with food. But over time, it sort of learns your preferences, and it's like AI for food, AI for like your meal preferences. Nice. It can tell you, hey, you would like this, hey, you'd like that, and over time. And everybody's talking AI now, so why not?
Why not? Didi, thank you so much. We have gotten to like the last part of the show, and this part is actually a favorite of mine. So we have two questions that are just for you. We have one question that is from the last guest, and then you have an opportunity to ask a random question to the next guest.
Oh, no.
Yes. Are you ready?
I'm not ready, but let's just do it.
Okay, let's do it. What is one word that describes your personal philosophy at this time?
Curiosity.
Curiosity. I love that. Curiosity. What is one word that your closest friends and family would use to describe you?
Grit. Nothing is impossible with me.
Grit. It's really, really nice. And now is a surprise question from our last guest. What advice would you give to people struggling with the balance between their pursuit of career and their married life?
Yes.
I love it.
Why would he do this? The pursuit of career and their married life. This is hard, but I think one is finding places that appreciate that balance is important. And I think there are loads of employers like that. Marriage and people's families are important parts of them, and your work cannot supersede that. And an example is even where I work. I remember one day I was looking for my CEO. He needed something, and he disappeared. But then later on, he tells me, sorry, I had to go to my daughter's school.
Oh, that's very sweet.
I think it's finding places where they understand the importance of family more than anything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what else. I'm certainly not going to say you should compromise family for work.
Yeah.
I think work needs to fit within that, because we're in life for other things outside of work. Work is just in us.
Yeah.
It's just one of the things that's helping us achieve what we really want to do. So yes, just find the right place.
Oh, that is brilliant. Now it's your turn to ask the next guest a question.
And this is a surprise question, so I did not plan for it.
No.
Interesting. Okay. I'm an easy person. What is the most fascinating thing you've discovered of late? It cannot be in relation to work. It's life. It could be that tortoise have 5 hands or something. Something. Yeah.
What is the most fascinating thing you've discovered of late that is not in relation to work? Please tell me yours.
I recently discovered that you cannot stare into someone's eyes. So apparently you stare into one eye at a time. You could try with someone around you soon.
I'm trying.
Eyes at the same time. And so that statement is wrong.
Oh, that is brilliant. That is true, actually. You can't look at both.
Yeah, you look at one thing at a time.
Really good. Didi, thank you so much. This has been brilliant. I'm still thinking about my answer to the question, this last question, and I'm like, okay, I need to go sleep on it a little bit. I think I have a little bit of an idea, but it wouldn't be mine. I think it would be what my sister said, that you cannot sneeze while you're sleeping. That's how you know someone is pretending to sleep, if they sneeze.
Oh, no.
Right? Think about it. Can you really sneeze while you're sleeping?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I think
when you sneeze, then you've woken up. You have to wake up to sneeze.
Yeah. Oh, this has been amazing, Didi. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for joining us on Immigrant Success Story. I'm sure that your story has so many insights and advice, a lot of value for a lot of us out there. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Hi guys, it's Isio Uwemakpan here. I want to thank you so much for watching, because if you're here and you're seeing this, it means you watched the show all the way to the end and you have my thanks. If you like the content, if you thought it was helpful to you or to somebody else, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and also to share it amongst other people that could benefit from it. We're a really young channel and we're really hoping to grow and attract other expatriates, other international business professionals, other immigrants who are thriving in business and dominating globally. We're trying to attract them to come on the show and share their experiences, their knowledge, their wisdom that can be helpful for others who share a similar context to them. So until next time, enjoy yourself, enjoy your life, enjoy your work.